welcome back to another amazing episode of Laquita's Toolbox Live. I am your host, Laquita Monley, and we have a fantastic show lined up for you guys on today. I know that today is a thankful Thursday, and if I don't know about y'all, but I love to say with every day, this is a day that the Lord has made, and I am rejoicing and I'm glad in it. And I hope that you guys have been having a super fantastic Thursday. I know that I have. I'm in beautiful San Antonio, Texas today, y'all. So a little bit different today. Not quite where I normally am. I know you're wondering, like, where is that awful, God ugly green screen you normally sitting behind? Well, it's at my house, y'all. It's at my house, but I'm on location, enjoying myself on today. And so listen, you guys that are coming into the room from Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, get something to write with and something to write on, because you don't want to miss the amazing stories that are going to be shared on tonight. If you're new to the Laquita's Toolbox community, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons on your favorite podcast listening platform so that you can receive notifications when we are live every Monday evening at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time and every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You don't want to miss any of the shows that we have coming for you on today. But before we get started and bring up tonight's guest, let me take a moment to thank our sponsors at Covenant Press. Covenant Press is a faith-based Christian apparel and accessory shop where we as believers can shop online for clothing and accessories that allow us to wear the message of the love of Jesus Christ. Go out to www.covenant-press.com. Again, that's www.covenant-press.com. Shop until you drop. They have some wonderful things on the site. But don't click off of the pop-ups that you see. Don't click off of them too quickly, because they contain valuable discount codes that when used properly at checkout, you can receive some amazing discounts and savings on your purchases through Covenant Press. And guys, as you come into the room on today, don't hesitate to get into the conversation. Get in the comments. Let us know who you are and where you are coming from. And because we want you to engage in this amazing conversation with us tonight. I have none other than Miss Candice Jones. She is the founder of Melody's Little Library. And if you guys are anything like me, I was curious, like, what is Melody's Little Library? And when I heard the story, I was like, I've got to be a part of that. So listen, guys, without further ado, let me bring up Miss Candice Jones. Hey, sis. Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Listen, on this thankful Thursday, I am super excited to have you in the studio because your story is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it shows resilience. It shows strength of character. It shows not just a mother's heart, but the love of humanity and the things that you're doing through Melody's Little Library and the support that you're getting from the communities around you is just super fantastic. And so I don't want to tell I can't even call it tea. Like, I don't want to share all the blessings myself, because I do want you to share some of the blessings with everyone. But just for a moment, please take a moment, introduce yourself, and let us know more about you. And then we're going to get into Melody's Little Library.
Okay. So I am Candice. I am a single mom of 5 children. I just recently moved to the Garland area, which for people who are not from Texas, the Dallas area. I just came from Central Texas. And before that, I was in Minnesota, raised Minnesota, been in Minnesota all my life. And that's pretty much a synopsis.
So you came into the Central Texas area. How long were you in the Central Texas area?
So I was in Central Texas for about 5 years.
Okay.
And then I decided to move to Garland to be closer to my family. We used to do that 2.5-hour drive all the time, almost every weekend. And I wanted to try country living. I've lived in the city all my life. So when we came down here, we tried it. It was good. We met some really wonderful people. It was a really good experience, but I think I'm a city girl.
glad you said Killeen is country. See, you have to come to where I'm from, and I'm going to show you what the country is. Killeen is small. I can't take that from you. Like Killeen is it's a relatively small town. Not, I'm gonna say medium. Let me say medium.
Okay.
Only because I'm from real small. Like,
okay.
But so you were here in the Central Texas area. And I do know that you happen to have worked for what I would consider, just based on the story, I've never worked for them. So let me make this clear in case somebody don't agree with what I just said. So I've never worked for them, but with what I know about your story and the support that they're putting behind you, sounds like you work with some pretty phenomenal people, and that they are really like, I was like, wow, that's awesome with how they're supporting the work that you're doing with Melody's Little Library. And so while you were in Killeen, you did, give birth to two children? One child?
One preemie I had, and it was actually I'm from Belton, and I had her in Temple. So we really, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with that, so yeah, let's talk about that. We're gonna get to that. So, what is Melody's Little Library, and why is it necessary? Because it is necessary.
Well, let's see. How about, okay, so I'm gonna start back a little bit. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Okay.
So I am one of 7 children. My mom was a single mom. So we were raised in an urban neighborhood. So we, had to deal with poverty and all of those different things. We had early life struggles, which is probably very common in the African-American community. I was a teen mom. I had my first daughter when I was 18. And growing up, I've watched my mom help everyone. Like, she would taking the shirt off of her back is considered an understatement when it comes to how my mom treated other people. And we did not always see eye to eye, and not at all. But I admired how she would help people. And I always wish that I had that courage in me to be like her. But I was like that person who had the big dreams, but all of my big dreams stayed in my journal. I was never bold enough to actually act on any of the things that I wanted to do to help, but I knew that I wanted to be like my mom in that aspect. So the birth of my preemie daughters actually inspired me to jump head in. Like my first preemie, she put the fire under me, and it was like, okay, oh, hold on.
Are you good? There we go. So I love the way you said that she put the fire in you, like it was motivation to do what you are doing now.
I'm sorry, I lost my earbud. I had to put the other one in. This is perfect. I'm a real person.
Listen, this is real time. This is real life. This is the live stream, y'all. Come on in.
Yes.
Listen, you got some love going on over here, y'all. You got some love.
I see.
Yes, Miss Deetta Love. Thank you for showing up and showing out. Y'all don't hesitate. Welcome to the room. If you're just popping on, welcome to Laquita's Toolbox. If this is your first time joining Laquita's Toolbox, welcome. Wherever you're joining us from, your favorite podcast listening platform, please hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons so that you can receive notifications when we have new episodes coming out weekly on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already subscribed to the podcast. You got some people showing you some love over here, woman of God. Miss Patricia says, see, am I saying that right, Caesar? Y'all forgive the country. Is super proud of you. Mr. Anthony Turner. Let's go, love. Absolutely. So you were saying your motivation for doing the things that you're doing now came from you watching your mom be a giver.
Yep. Okay. Yep. And then, so I jumped into, my first preemie when I had her, she kind of put that little fire under my butt, and it was like, okay, maybe I should start acting on these things. She gave me a little more strength. I've been through things I've never imagined that I could overcome. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can build myself up to start doing them things, but still not there yet. I was just like, but my second preemie, I just had to rip the Band-Aid off. I was just like, by now I am like a professional preemie mom at this point, right? Like, what is the chances of someone having two preemie babies and two separate experiences, two different, like, it was just crazy to me. And both experiences were major learning experiences for me. And I feel like I was blessed to be as, I guess, strong as I was, to be able to make it through and to find so many resources to help me through. And not everybody has that. And I wouldn't want people to go through what I went through. And that's why I came up with Melodies of the Library, because I would love to make other people's experience, a little smoother when they're going through such a traumatic time.
See, that's the heart that I'm talking about right there. You as you're going through the things that you're going through, not one time having a preemie baby, but 2 times having a preemie baby. And in this particular situation, as you stated at the top of the broadcast, your family was at least 2.5 hours away, and that's without traffic, which we know that never happens in the Dallas.
Yeah,
not in most, not traffic. So you're doing this independently as a single mom, and in this time, you have the wherewithal to figure out the resources necessary for you. As a preemie mom, but not just a preemie mom, as a single individual raising children, and this particular preemie baby was not your only child. So you had other children, and you were holding down your job. Like, since you had a lot on your plate and you were managing.
I did.
I'm gonna say managing it well. You might not felt like it. It sounds like you were managing it well, and in that time having an ear to hear what God is saying, and giving you a vision and a ministry, a mission, and you're doing it. Like, so as you're doing
prayer and coffee.
Prayer and coffee. See, that's what I'm saying.
Prayer and coffee.
Prayer and coffee will win the day every time.
Yes.
Not
every
just
time.
Every time. So what was going through your mind? Like, you said you were a professional preemie mom. You felt like you were a professional preemie mom. What was going through your mind at the time when that idea first came to you? Like,
so my second preemie, I was almost already positive that I was going to have a preemie. I just didn't know how soon she would be. I thought that I can, keep her in a little longer. Now, my first experience, it caught me totally off guard. I was 27 weeks pregnant. There's no way I would have ever thought that I was having this baby that early. And I was actually in labor for a couple of days before I finally went in, because I just thought I was experiencing gas pains. I was 27 weeks. So what possibly could be going wrong in your pregnancy at 27 weeks? So with that, I feel like that experience the first time is what had me feeling like I have to do something for other women. But again, I just didn't have that. I guess I keep wanting the word that keeps popping up in my head is courage. I just didn't have that courage. Even now, I am just scared beyond crazy talking on these podcasts, on these lives, but the best way to do it is to get through it. So when it's time, I'm just like, I'm going to do it. I have no idea what I'm going to say. My first interview that I had with KC and Channel 6 News, I said 79 times, but I made it through. And I just got my message out, and everybody heard what I had to say. And as people follow my journey and the growth of Melodies of the Library and everything that I have going on, I hope that they'll see that my public speaking gets better, because this is something that I'm very passionate about, and I'm going to continue doing.
The passion for it is what speaks volumes. We're not counting the ums. Like,
please don't, because it's a lot of them.
Anybody has the time and the energy to count the ums, that is guaranteed we need to ignore them. Guaranteed, in my opinion. That's just my personal opinion, because if you had enough time to count the ums, that means you were not listening to what she said.
You wasn't listening. No, you wasn't.
Right. And Miss Dietta Love, go on to say that again, because she ain't hearing you in the front or the back. But I'm gonna put this on the screen. You are a natural. I agree.
I love you, Gishi.
1000%. So you mentioned KCEN, right?
Yes.
And that's where you were employed at the time.
Yes.
That when you gave birth and when you were, making the travels back and forth, and between Belton and Temple in order to, to visit your baby. So what was that like, having that experience, or better yet, not what was that like? What was it like for you once the people on your job realized that these are the things that you were experiencing? What kind of, because they supported, like, wow, they supported. What was that like?
Yeah.
What was the feeling in that, like, okay, knowing that I'm actually not alone. I do have some support here.
Well, let me just say at first, I did not tell them. I've had all bad experiences with dealing with employment and them not really caring too much about your personal issues. So the first couple of months that I was working, I didn't even tell them that I had a baby in the NICU. I just was working my butt off. They're just like, you're an amazing worker. They were already shocked because they were like, you have how many kids at home? So I ended up having to tell them about my preemie in the hospital because she was getting discharged. And I was like, hey, I need to leave early today. My baby's getting discharged. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm so sorry, but I'll be back tomorrow. I have some. They're like, no, take the time you need, get your baby established. And I was just so afraid. I'm like, because when the whole situation first happened, I lost a job. And I'm sorry, her message caught me off guard. Y'all not gonna make me cry. Y'all not gonna make me cry today.
Where your tissue at, girl? Go get your tissue.
I know. But so they were just literally, they just took me under their wing, and I now still to this day call them my KCEN family. I would have never left there if I wouldn't have moved. And they know that, and they ride for me super hard and support everything that I do. And even throughout the journey of writing my book and throughout the journey of building Melodies of the Library, my coworkers, they just wrapped me in love and fed me all that positive energy. And my good friend at KCN, her name is Crystal. I have to give her a shout out. She was the one that was like, when I was just like, okay, I have this idea, I want to do this. She was like, do it. And I'm like, well, and I have all these excuses. She's like, no, do it. And I'm just like, and do it. She would not let me make any excuses for anything. And she was the one.
Thank you, Crystal.
I know, right? But she just wouldn't. And she just, fully supported everything that I want to do. And even now, we still obviously keep in touch. And she just constantly just gives me just that positive. She just feeds life into me. But and she was the one that she wanted to bring the story out to the light about Melodies of the Library in my book and the whole story behind it all. So it was her ideal to do the interview on the Texas Today show and to talk about the donated books. And that whole experience was phenomenal. After that and putting the word out, after being on Texas Today, we actually raised 167 books for our first pilot program at the Temple Baylor Scott Hospital. So that was really exciting.
Yes. I mean, you breezed through that, but I'm going to bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back because you breezed through that real quick. So listen, for those of you that have just entered the room, I'm talking to none other than Miss Candice Jones, and she is the founder of Melody's Little Library. And if you're wondering, Laquita, well, what's that? Hold on to your horses, because you're gonna find out real soon. We're gonna do some recaps and some reiterations and get you further into this story, because it is a phenomenal story. And what we're going to talk about after this quick break, we're going to get more into what Melody's Little Library is and why it is so vitally important that people have no problem acknowledging it. It's a nonprofit organization, and to kick off this nonprofit, two really important entities in the Central Texas area are full on supporting it. And I want you guys to get in and support it too. So we're going to flash some information on the screen in a little bit after we come back so you can find out how you could be a blessing to Melody's Little Library. Y'all, we'll be right back after this short break.
Attention entrepreneurs. Are you ready to take your business to new heights? Join us for the TV Media Tour, where you'll gain the exposure, elevation, and expansion strategies you need for success. Get the tools and insights to run a thriving business. Register today at tvmediatour.com. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Transform your business. Register now.
All right, now welcome back. Listen, y'all, if you have not registered for the TV Media Tour, don't hesitate. Get out there today because seating is limited. We do have some seating. We still have sponsorship slots available as well. So if you go out to www.tvmediatour.com, you'll be able to find out more about ticket and ticketing prices, as well as sponsorship opportunities. Now, listen, Candice, we've been talking about the phenomenal support. We talked about your why. Why did you start this amazing nonprofit? And your why was the foundation of it was you saw your mom being this passionate giver growing up, regardless of the circumstances you guys were living in, where it might not necessarily been always enough, but it was enough to where your household was sustained and your mom was giving to those around her. And so that inspired you to yourself be a giver. And then when you had your two preemie children, you said, no, I got to do something. I've got to do something to be a blessing and to be a support to other parents of premature children. Your job at KCN TV was very supportive of you in this journey. And a particular individual that you work with is extremely supportive of you actually starting the nonprofit Melody's Little Library. And Baylor, Scott and White in Temple, which is like the biggest hospital in our area, says we want some of that. Like that makes sense. That's needed. So listen, tell us exactly what Melody's Little Library is and why all of these people are on board with it.
Okay, so Melody's Little Library is a safe space for with a collection of books, donated books that are available for preemie parents to be able to read to their babies while they're in the NICU. During my experience, reading to my babies was very important. It's important in our everyday family life. So I brought it into the hospital. I really didn't know the effect that it would have later. I kind of just was doing my everyday norm, and we didn't have books available at the hospitals, at either hospitals where my children was born. So I used to have to bring books up there. There's only so many songs you can sing. I know I always say that. That's like my tagline, because it's like a second nature for a mom to sing those songs to the baby, the wheels on the bus and all that. There's only so many songs you can sing. And once your baby is in the NICU for 96 days, you kind of run out of things to say that are positive things, and you don't want to feed your baby that negative energy. So I was bringing books up there not only to keep myself occupied, but to entertain my baby with the imaginative stories that were in the books at the time. And later on, as I started to do research and just seeing, first of all, how much that affected my preemies, because of course my full-term babies, I just automatically assumed from, the way they were raised and things like that they would, certain things would be beneficial to them. But having preemies, you're always afraid of developmental delays and cognitive behavioral, just all those type of things. So with my first preemie, the way she responded after just something as small as me reading to her, going up there, reading her hearing my voice, so many times us as preemie parents, we can't hold our babies. So us not being able to hold our babies, the only other thing that we have to offer them is our voice. And there are some studies that show that sometimes a baby hearing your voice, the parent's voice can actually be as self-soothing as the mom cradling the baby, cuddling the baby, different things like that. So another benefit is studies have shown that reading to your preemie helps, obviously parents form bonds with the babies, and it also comfort the parents and the babies, and it helps with language development, and it also can help with cardio respiratory strength. So me finding those things out later, I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. Then we could just put all this together, make this one big package thing, and go ahead and, they get books. It's a fun thing. We can make it fun and light. Now, a more serious note of Melodies of the Library is me going through those traumatic experiences. You have all these wonderful people around you in the hospital, and they are there to make sure that your hospital stay is great and that your health is great and your baby is great. Now, a lot of times people don't think about like, well, what about outside of the hospital? What about my bills? What about my car note, my rent, my other kids that I have at home? What about these things? Now, the struggle that I had is, like you said, my family was 2.5 hours away, and my other family is in Minnesota, over 1,000 miles away. My help was limited. So there was resources that I had to find. And that's the part that I really want to try to make easier for parents that are going through this, them not having to stress so much about those things and having some of those resources available. I know when I was going through my experience, I found resources that helped me pay my rent for a couple of months. I found resources that helped me pay my car note. I just want to have those resources readily available for women who are not prepared for this at all, but that to be one less thing that they have to worry about.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So look, y'all, we're going to unpack that because sis just dropped several nuggets right there. So if you're just coming into the space, welcome. Hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons so that you do not miss any amazing episodes of Laquita's Toolbox Live. We air every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, as well as every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And tonight, my special guest is Miss Candice Jones, founder of Melody's Little Library. And if you missed all that she just said, Melody's Little Library is a nonprofit organization with the mission to support parents of premature babies. Parents of premature babies, and I know she may have used a couple of terms there that some of us may not be familiar with, especially if you've never had an infant child that was sick. So what the NICU is, the neonatal intensive care unit. And as she stated, oftentimes when your child is in that NICU, you can't hold your baby. You can't touch your baby. For some parents, from moment one from birth, you don't get that opportunity. And so with the vision that she has for Melody's Little Library, it's important for our children to bond with us when they're first born. And initially that initial bond is usually skin to skin bonding. But if your child is in the NICU, you can't do that. So as Candice has stated, studies have found that when parents are there, caregivers are there, guardians are there to read to the children, to the babies, it helps their development. It helps them form the bond. It is nurturing as being able to hold your child. So what she has done is develop this amazing organization called Melody's Little Library so that NICUs can have a steady supply of books so that when parents, loved ones, or guardians of the children that are in the NICU come, I love what you said, you can only sing so many songs. They might run out. When your singing is done singing, so that they can actually hear your voice and bond and connect with you, what better way than to read to your child? We're going to read to our children anyway. The earlier we start, the better it is. We're told to read to our children even when they're in the womb. So even more so, how more important it would be for your child in the NICU. It makes sense. And so not only has Candice had this vision, she's developed this nonprofit, and the hospital agrees. Like, let's just not glance over that. The hospital agrees. This is great. This is the thing
that is pretty amazing.
Yes, right. That is absolutely amazing. And so just recently, did you made a trip down back down here to the Central Texas area to go to Temple to visit the NICU. Tell us about that experience there with Melody's Little Library and the trip that you made back to the NICU here at Baylor Scott & White.
So it was awesome. We got to do a lot of hugging and shaking hands with a lot of the nurses, and I'm thanking them. And I actually ran into one of the nurses that I was in. That was my nurse when the time that my daughter was in the NICU, and I was just like, "Oh my God, I just need to apologize 10 more times because NICU moms were going through so much, and it's really hard for us. And you know, we try to be positive, but it's just so hard when you're overshadowed by all these beeping machines and blinking machines, and you know, it's really stressful. So but she was like, I don't even remember. She was like, you weren't that bad because I don't even remember. And I was just like, well, thank you, Jesus, because I thought I was the worst. So but we got to share laughs, and I got to show them pictures of my daughter now, and they were just like, oh my God. It was just like her eyes. There was this really funny story that happened while we were there. And my daughter, she was, you know, small, a little preemie in there. And, you know, they have the incubators, and they have these little things that they kind of fold to kind of cup the baby in to make her feel like kind of swaddled. Like she's not swaddled, but it's just this little thing that goes around the baby. And my daughter used to do some weird things. And one time she flipped out of it, and she was literally like smushed up against the glass and the side thing. And I was literally just on my way in there, and they were just fixing her. And they were like, oh my God, we have to tell you what happened, because if you would have walked in and seen her, we were just going to be. And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot stop laughing, because her personality is exactly that. Exactly what she did in that NICU, in the incubator, is exactly who she is today. And it's just hilarious to me.
We come here with our sparkling personality. Our ability to communicate just gets better and better.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
She said, I'm going to show you. I'm do what I want to do.
Yeah.
This thing.
Little, so little. Smallest thing in there, and just think she can flap around. And yeah, that was hilarious. But that experience was really awesome. And we got to take some pictures and stuff. And we all of that is also on our website. If you go to Melody's Little, my website is actually www.candicejones.net, and you'll be able to follow Melody's Little Library on Facebook and everything from there, and you can stay updated with Melody's Little Library and all of what we have done and all of what we have to come. So yes, I'm really excited.
That's awesome. And so you had this wonderful experience recently there with Melody's Little Library at Scott and White, Baylor Scott and White in Temple, Texas. And they partnered with you. And so Melody's Little Library is actually in the NICU there.
Yes, ma'am. So on May 1st is when Melody's Little Library became active at Baylor Scott and White NICU.
Awesome. So let's talk about that a little bit. So any moms and dads and grandparents right now with little ones in the NICU, how can they access Melody's Little Library? Take us through the process of how that works.
So it's an easy process. Literally, if they just go in there and ask, a lot of times what I have in place is that if parents are in there for long stays, they are going to recommend them to read, because that is just it isn't like I just came up with this bright idea like you should read to your children. That has been the advice for years on top of years. So now I've just created this easier avenue for them to get to it. So the doctors are always, when they're in there and they have long stays at the hospital, I just recommended that they would say, like, you know, have you ever thought of, or, you know, since we recommend you reading to, we have Melody's Little Library, and we also have brochures available at the hospital. So eventually I would love for the brochures to be a part of the discharge packet when preemie parents are getting discharged, and we are working on that now. But for the time being, the nurses and everyone knows about it, and they are going to be initiating that with the parents. And if they don't, anybody that's watching this or knows someone who has a baby in Temple Baylor Scott Hospital, you can definitely tell them to reach out and ask the nurses about Melody's Little Library, and they'll be more than happy to supply them with books.
Absolutely. So one of the things you were sharing with me, that to make sure that the reason that we need to make sure that there's a consistent supply of books is because some books come in, but books are also able to check out and go, right?
Yeah, so they don't necessarily check them out. They keep the books. So it's more like gifts because babies in the NICU are so fragile. We have to be very careful with germs and things like that. So they are not checking the books out and bringing them back. They're actually keeping the books, which is why it was really nice when we got a lot of donations from some authors that I've met on Facebook, because they wrote little personal messages in their books, and they were able to say, like, it's okay, you'll get there. That these are also preemie moms who've had babies and wrote books about their experience of being a preemie mom and things like that. Just kind of help them through the experience by shining light on their experience and how they got through.
Oh, that's real good. So now it's more, I don't know the right word. So the books that are being donated are going into Melody's Little Library in order to make sure that all hygienic rules are followed. Those books can also be removed from Melody's Little Library, and I think that's an amazing gift. So you've had authors that have partnered with you that have written books, whether specifically for children or specifically about their journey as a preemie parent, and these authors have left personal notes in them. I think that is just amazing words of encouragement to other parents that yes, you can do it. It might be tough, but you can do it. And so those books get to go home with those parents as a gift, that they can continue to read that amazing story to their child over and over and over again. So we want to make sure that we are making, whether it's financial contributions or contributions of books themselves, to keep these resources going and to find out more information. And so to ensure that the parents of premature children are properly informed about the extent of what Melody's Little Library can do for them, because you're not only providing those reading resources, but you're also able to provide them with actual other resources, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that can help them with things that you don't quite think about. Rent, lights, water, car notes, all of it, the bills that can help them not have to worry about those certain burdens, so they can actually put the energy where they need to, which is their personal health and the health of their child. And, if that child has siblings, their siblings as well. So let's talk about where do you see Melody's Little Library in the future? You're here at Baylor Scott and White in Temple. You're receiving the support of that community, and you're also receiving the support of your KCN TV family with making sure that the word is going out across the Central Texas area in their platforms. How can we be supportive in helping you reach your future goals with Melody's Little Library?
So right now, getting the word out, letting people know that we exist, we are here. And right now what we're doing is, since we have the Temple Baylor Scott and White Hospital is all set to go, we are actually scouting for a new location to start another Melody's Little Library. So putting that word out. I have a PDF pamphlet available, and I just made a post on my social medias about it. And if you know anyone that might be interested, or if you're having some type of pop-up shop or know anywhere you can post it, you can contact me and I can send you the PDF of the pamphlet so you can pass that out or have it available wherever you're located, just to kind of get the word out and see where else we could possibly fit in to benefit the next community, because this is not something that is just going to be confined to Temple. This is definitely something that I would eventually love to have all over the U.S. And eventually I would love for Melody's Little Library to even be able to become that financial resource for some of those families.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's a big vision, but we serve a big God, and he's already doing it. From the beginning, he's already doing it. He's already doing it. So listen to my fellow podcasters, live streamers. Miss Candice Jones, get out to her website at www.candicejones.net. Let me go and put it up on the screen in case you couldn't hear me. You see me. Go out to www.candicejones.net to find out more information about how you can support her journey by spreading the story on our podcast listening platforms, our live stream platforms. My fellow business owners, entrepreneurs, creators, any pop-up shops that you have going on, any events that you have that require vendors, whether it's a vendor table or other level of sponsorship, connect with Candice Jones so that she could partner with you and to continue to help to spread this word. Because as long as people are peopling and God is allowing us to breathe his air, this is a resource and a tool that we're going to need, because unfortunately premature births do happen.
Yeah.
And premature the babies as well as their families need that support, and the support that you're providing through being able to direct people to the resources that can help them, as well as providing for them that resource of reading that helps to nurture and grow and to develop that preemie baby, and the relationship between that preemie baby and their parent is absolutely amazing. But what's even more amazing, Miss Candice, you're gonna be at my pop-up shop in July. You coming back?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't talk about it.
I'm gonna need for everybody to come out and see me. I'm gonna be at the TV media tour. I'm gonna have a table, and I'll have a whole setup, and you can purchase a book. You could just come and get information. You can donate books at that time. You can ask me questions. You could just come give me a hug, whatever it is. You can come and see me out there. And if you want any more information about that, obviously you can contact Laquita, or you can contact me, and we can definitely answer any questions for you or help you with get linked up in that to be able to be a part of it, or just come show your face.
Right. So look, y'all, come on out to Killeen, Texas, July 11th and 12th. You see it on the screen. Join us July 11th and 12th. Go to www.tvmediatour.com to find out more about how you can come and be a part of the TV Media Tour, be a sponsor, or come and be an attendee. Now, listen, Candice, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I want you to we're going to talk about why you chose to partner with the TV Media Tour, and why do you believe that this can be something that will help the growth and the visibility of Melody's Little Library. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Attention entrepreneurs. Are you ready to take your business to new heights? Join us for the TV Media Tour, where you'll gain the exposure, elevation, and expansion strategies you need for success. Get the tools and insights to run a thriving business. Register today at tvmediatour.com. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Transform your business. Register now.
Let's get registered for the TV Media Tour. Now, I did say when we came back, we were going to talk about why you thought being part of the TV Media Tour was important, but I just realized I failed to dig into your book. You've been talking about it, but I failed to ask you, what is the name of your book, sis, and where can we get it?
My book is called You Know What? Layla's NICU Journey, and it is available on Amazon and also Barnes & Noble. And that book is just, it was just a project that I did for my 6-year-old, who was my first preemie. And I just, it was a project I did for her 6th birthday that ended up blowing up into something bigger than what we expected. So it's amazing. And it was loved by a lot. So we were like, we could do something with this. We need to share this message. And it's basically her NICU journey and her perspective. So it's a children's book with children illustrations, but I feel like it can be beneficial for the parents and children, because it kind of helps you through the journey. It's like life lessons. So even if you don't have a preemie, you could benefit from the book, because it's just the struggles of going through difficult times and getting out of it, and then seeing that light at the end of the tunnel and becoming who you are now. And her only being 6, she has some personality on her. So just, watching her through that journey, and it was just, it's a little small children's book. It's amazing. That whole experience was amazing.
Awesome. Now, run the name by us again, and one more time where we could get it.
You Know What? Layla's NICU Journey, and it's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Y'all better get to Barnes & Noble and Amazon and get that book. Get on over to Barnes & Noble and Amazon. Know you got the Amazon app on your phone. A lot of us need to take it off. We save a little bit of money, but pray for them. So now, okay, will you have copies of your book with you when you're at the TV media tour?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
See, that's wonderful. That's what I'm talking about. Now, so we could go ahead and wrap it up because I promise I'm gonna respect your time tonight. I'm not gonna keep you over. But the TV media tour, talk to me. Tell us about why you felt like it was important to reach out and want to become a part of the TV media tour.
Well, first of all, when I reached out to you, you were so amazing and just so welcoming. And after learning about the TV media tour and everything that it offered, the red carpet interview, the professional headshot photos, basically all this branding material, and Melody's Little Library being new, and me as an author being new, and all of this, I just felt like I could learn so much. In the media mixer, there's going to be amazing people there. There's going to be all types of entrepreneurs there that I could rub elbows with, that I'll be able to communicate with and learn stuff from, and maybe even vice versa. So I just felt like this would be something really beneficial for me as an author and as the founder of Melody's Little Library.
That's awesome. And that's the goal. That is absolutely the goal for the TV media tour, is to provide a place where entrepreneurs, micro business owners, small business owners can come and to learn different tools and strategies on how to properly build their business. And if their business is already built, how to establish the brand, how to rebrand. We're bringing people together that are going to be able to teach. As you can see on the screen now, just at the bottom are some of the amazing individuals that will be teaching different workshops, from what a personal brand is to have an attorney coming in, Ms. Shania Lambert. She's going to be talking about the legalities of small business ownership and the things that we need to know about how to properly protect ourselves, especially our intellectual property. We're going to have individuals on talking about the importance of the photography, importance of social media and social media marketing, and how to run an effective social media campaign, whether it's organic or paid. We're also going to have individuals there that are talking about the importance of developing community. You have an amazing community, and that is very, very key to why Melody's Little Library is being as successful as it is. From like day one, from the thought in your head, you had a community that has helped you. And I don't think as entrepreneurs, we realize the importance of having that amazing community, because community won't let you give up. Community can give you great feedback. Community can help point you in the right direction. They can tell you when you're doing good, when you're doing bad. Community is there to be just that, a support. And so we're going to talk about a lot of amazing things and the walkaway tools that we are going to give those that attend. What they get with the price for their ticket is, as you mentioned, the headshots, the red carpet interviews with both local radio stations in Killeen, as well as Power Influence Radio, which is a global internet radio station. They're going to walk away with the opportunities to have an episode on streaming TV platforms that will reach over 350 million homes worldwide, via my streaming TV show, Pursuit Purpose TV, and Laquita's Toolbox, that is also available on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. You're going to have a professionally written press release that is, you can take that press release and have it distributed and reach, local channels and national channels. That's important for business owners to have those press releases done, and a magazine article. We're going to ensure not help you find the magazine, but we have partnered with 2 magazines that have an amazing reach within the U.S. and outside of the U.S. to write an article about you and what you do, and have that press for you to help you grow, to rebrand, to establish a brand. So we're excited about the TV media tour, and even more so that Melody's Little Library decided to partner with the TV media tour. You saw what we were doing and said, hey, I want to be a part of that, because we want to get the word out. Melody's Little Library, that the mission and the vision needs to be amplified, because NICUs across the country need to have a Melody's Little Library, because across the country, there are premature children and preemie families that need the support that you're providing. Mr. Anthony Turner, I can't wait to meet you, sir. Come on to the media tour. Come on down. We'd love to have you, have your face in the place on July 11th and 12th. Come on down. Go out to www.tvmediatour.com. Get your ticket. Find out more information also on the website. If you are a small business owner, micro business owner, creator, and you want to say, hey, I need to have a sponsor table as well. How can I be a sponsor? Click on that link when you get out to the site that says become a sponsor and find out about our sponsorship packages. Reach out to me and I'll be happy to speak with you. But look, before we wrap up for the night, you got to give us one or two more things about yourself and Melody's Little Library. And make sure one of those two more things is you re-emphasizing how to get in contact with you.
Okay, so the best thing that you guys can do right now to help Melody's Little Library is to donate books and to go and like and follow our Facebook page. And sorry, I was losing my thing. And the best way to contact me, again, you have my website, the www.candicejones.net, and we appreciate everything, all of the help that we've received so far, all of the donations, all of the love, everybody that's been following the journey. We appreciate it. I love all of you guys, and I'm just excited for you guys to go on this journey with me.
Awesome. Get on out to www.candicejones.com, .net. So used to saying .com. www.candicejones.net. You can also follow Melody's Little Library on Facebook, and Miss Candice Jones is also on LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn community, make sure y'all tap it in, go out to her profile, hit that like button, hit that follow button, ring that notification bell so that you can continue to be informed about all that is going on with Miss Candice Jones and Melody's Little Library. Listen, y'all, this has been another amazing episode of Laquita's Toolbox. I've had a great time talking to you tonight, Candice. Thank you so much for being a guest and sharing the vision and the mission of Melody's Little Library with the Toolbox audience. Continue to do what you do, sis. You are doing phenomenal things. Y'all, until next time, I am your host, Laquita Monley. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care.
Everything hinges on identity. It is the compass of our faith that aligns with the Holy Spirit to fulfill the Father's will. Wrapped up in identity is who we are, the purpose of our being, and every God-breathed promise that manifests as our success. Hello, I'm Laquita Monley, and I'm the author of Redefining Success, 8 Tools That I Use to Develop a Growth Mindset. In this amazing book, not only will I share with you 8 tools that I use for a growth mindset, but I'll also share the applicable principles based on God's word that you can easily implement in your life journey. So no matter where you are,